Hello, I'm Jemana Sophia, and I want to welcome you to the second series, the second seasonal devotional series of this year. So, the Seasonal Ritual Arts Devotional Series is a series that I started in winter solstice of 2020. And we moved from winter solstice with the seasonal wheel, with the turn of the seasons, the turn of the wheel, solstice through Imbolc into spring equinox and into Beltane. That was the first four, and I thought that was going to be the completion of this series, but it's been so wonderful, and there's been such a strong request, and we're still turning through quite a bit of transformation. So I've extended the series so that we can spend time together for the entirety of the cycle of the wheel. So you are welcome to join me. We're going to begin. This series begins summer solstice and continues through Samhain, i.e. the end of the year. If you're not familiar with Samhain, it's the closing of the seasonal wheel cycle around Halloween time, All Saints' Day. You can join for the entirety of the series, which is great. Just kind of setting your intention to move through your own transformation and be supported and be in community and in personal ritual from summer solstice through Samhain. Or you can join for just one. There's four, right? So summer solstice, then Llamas, which is the feast, the ripening. This is early August. Then we move into autumnal equinox, into Samhain. So you can see below for all the information about it, all the specific information, dates and things, but I will give you a little bit more of a sense. So each time that we work together for a specific holy day on the seasonal wheel, what we're doing is focusing on fostering a deeper alliance with a particular aspect of deep feminine sensibility, a trustworthy alliance that is independent of circumstance, right? That is something that we can anchor into and draw strength from, take refuge in, no matter what is turning in our wheel, right? So we are in a time of, always we are, but it seems especially true that we are in a time of transformation, of change, of uncertainty, right? Of a big calling forward for many of us. So the seasonal devotional series, each turn of the wheel brings forward, right, a different deep feminine alliance, and we focus on that. So for each turn of the wheel, right, there are 8 turns of the wheel throughout the entirety of the year. Working with the heavens and earth, right? The solstices, equinoxes, etc., and then the cross quarters in between those. We get more into that in the series. Basically, we're moving through that together, and we'll spend time together. For each one of them, we come together on a Friday for an hour and a half. It's always recorded if you can't make it. And in that hour and a half, we will go into a deeper exploration of what is this alliance that we're turning toward. What is the particular ritual art? Because what happens is that we are together on a Friday, we come back together again on the following Wednesday. In between that time, you are each going into a personal ritual, a personal ceremonial connection with the holy day and with yourself. And then we bring that together on Wednesday. And I offer, for each one of the turns of the wheel, I offer both the alliance that we're focusing on and a particular ritual art to focus on. So there is some guidance so that we're all, well, you get to take it if you want or not, but we're all entering into a unified ceremonial field, just each in our own worlds, right? Each in our own realms. So to give a little bit, you can see obviously all the information below, but basically for summer solstice, we're going to be the longest day of the year. We're going to be focusing on and turning toward the courage that endures. So what is it that gives us the soul stamina we need to tend the light of life until it's eventide? right? This is about, okay, we're in the longest day, there's a fullness, there's a brightness, and there's a stamina necessary. And when we deepen into the courage that endures, we are finding a deeper resource in that. In what is it that will endure, that will give us the stamina we need. We work with a sacred need each turn of the wheel. The sacred need here in summer solstice is protection. The ritual art is going to be shielding. And the practice that we're going to be working with, oh, I forgot to mention, so each immersion also comes with a practice. So I'm pulling practices out of her mystery school, and then we'll do that practice together, and you'll be given audio recordings, guided audios of that practice to work with. Because each turn of the wheel lasts about 6 weeks. So, summer solstice, we open it, we have our time together, our immersion together, and then you're in that for the next 6 weeks until the wheel turns to Llamas. And during that 6 weeks, we are all invited to continue to really just bring forward the courage that endures, really work with the practice, right? And have that be the focus for the 6 weeks until we turn to the next. So that's that. And one of the things we're also going to be looking at with the courage that endures on summer solstice is when you're in a time of shining, right? This is the the world is shining, the day is shining. How do we differentiate between real, radiant, sustained, nourished, authentic expression, shining, offering, and the portraits, ways of being and almost like exposing ourselves that ultimately deplete? So those are some of the things we're looking into there. Llamas. So when we turn into Llamas in early August, we're working with the faith that restores. So Llamas is the feast, the ripening. This is when everything has ripened. Well, not everything, but many things have ripened, and there's harvest. So here we're going to be turning towards the faith that restores. So fruition, abundance, this miraculous, regenerative, deep feminine power, both within us and within you and within all of life itself. So we're drawing close to this cycling natural laws that will faithfully lead from the fallow, right? The empty times, the times of loss, quietude, and dormancy, right? Into this time, Llamas, right? When everything is ripening. So this is about, the sacred need here is abundance. The ritual art is sacrament. The practice is communion. So we're really turning toward the generosity, a relationship with the generosity and abundance of life herself. Okay, so then we move into the wisdom that heals in autumnal equinox, roughly late September. Here, and if you were with me in the first series, which was winter solstice through Beltane, you'll recognize the wisdom that heals, because we take the holy pause at the equinox. This equinox, the time of balance when the day and the night are equal in their reach, right? Here we are again turning to the wisdom that heals, but specifically to sacred integrity and refuge in sacred integrity. So we're drawing kind of down and under and back from all the rhetoric, the angst, the contention, the bewilderment of human culture, right? We're drawing to a deeper place. We're asking to know holy wisdom. And in this case, we're entering the holy pause, and we are going to be focusing on recognizing and redressing cognitive dissonance and coercion, both outside of us and inside of us, right? So we're cultivating more deeply an alliance with the wisdom that heals, so that we can return to a simple, peaceful, peacemaking life. Right? We're reclaiming that here, and we're working with natural laws that are going to keep us in accord with right timing, right relationship, right proportion, right action. The sacred need here is congruency. The need just for things to be congruent, for ourselves to be congruent, our values on the inside, our actions on the outside, the same. The ritual art is casting circle, which you'll recognize from the spring if you were with me then. The practice is a practice from her mystery school called Reconciling Irreconcilables. And here we work with the non-oppositional nature of the deep feminine to actually bring things, both in our own lives and in the wider world, that are tearing us apart, right? That have us polarized, that seem to have no reconciliation or no integration. And we are working with a practice that actually does bring a very different sensibility and a reconciliation to such things. Finally, we complete the series in Samhain. Samhain is the laying to rest time. This is the close of the cycle, but also the new year in the Celtic wheel. This is when the year is born. The veils are very thin. You probably recognize the time from Halloween and All Saints' Day and Day of the Dead. Here, the alliance we're fostering is an alliance with the death that is life. So, Samhain is a time when everything turns on the seasonal wheel. Everything turns to the fallow. It's going dormant. Things are dying. Things are, they're falling away. So we, at this time, are going to turn towards the sacred need for honor, the ritual art of consecration, and a practice of shrouding. Because this is a time when we lay to rest. We honor what has passed, what has died, who has died, right? The death that has been part of our life, this past cycle. We honor that. And here we're restoring alliance with the death that is life, meaning that we'll remember together that we're part of a life-death-life cycle. Not a death, life, death, more chaos, more death, more cycle, right? We are going to be realigning with the resurrecting and kind of the natural movement of the cycles. And this brings, in Samhain, we're turning to face death, but in a way that fosters deeper life, right? More true life. So we're drawing close to very comforting, actually, arts of true and full surrender to the fallow, to the completion, to the loss and the laying to rest, as the doorways through which the cycle towards life and fruition and the steady flame can begin again. Okay, so that is a little bit, just a little bit here. You can read more about everything down below. I would love to have you join me. This has been so beautiful and so, it's been really powerful. It's been strengthening to, in community, mark and walk with the turns of the seasonal wheel, because these are bigger forces, right? These are bigger tides of nature, bigger tides of life, and because they're bigger than we are, and they're much bigger and more ancient and more, they're independent in some ways from everything that's moving through our personal lives and human culture, we can anchor in them, right? So together we are anchoring in a presence, in alliances, deep alliances, in natural law that is here to walk us through whatever we are facing, right? And to give fortitude and to bring wisdom, and in this case, bring community, right? So feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions at support@hermysteryschool.com. You can register below, you can get more information below, and I hope to spend this time with you. Blessed be.